Near mint condition, the home of collected editions.
That cover's so awesome.
Absolute format is the best way to own this store. Time to empty those wallets and fill those shelves. Hey all you mentees, Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. Today I'm going to be doing an overview of one of the oldest Tim Sale published works. This is Billi 99, the hardcover from Clover Press. So join me. And welcome back, everybody. Now, before I go any further, a big thank you to the folks at Clover Press for sending us a copy of this hardcover. Now, this hardcover's already been released in the direct market and in the book market. The very first thing we're going to note here is this cover by, of course, Tim Sale. Tim Sale, Sarah Byam, and José Villarrubia. The title right there, Billi 99. The spine of the book, Billi 99, Sale, Byam, Villarrubia, and Clover Press logo. And then, of course, the back. It's 1999. Do you know where your civil rights are? It's a very similar book to something like Dark Knight Returns or the V for Vendetta type of story that you're going to find in here, like this dystopian future. The ISBN and the retail price is $45. But in here, I mean, the book was written in 1991. It came out in 1991. So you're going to find the oldest work of Tim Sale, outside of things like, I don't know, does predate Grendel, I think, some of the work in Grendel. But before I go any further, I do want to compare it to the size of, let's say, an omnibus. So it's just a little bit taller than an omnibus and a little bit longer than an omnibus as well. So just kind of give you the dimensions. It does have a flat spine, which we'll look at the binding a little bit later. But this was a Kickstarter first, and I'm not sure if the Kickstarter had a dust jacket or extra goodies, but the Kickstarter did help make this book come out in the direct and book market, so that's wonderful. But yes, the art is on board here. There is no dust jacket. But we are going to go ahead and crack it open and talk about the type of stories found in here, and then, of course, look at this artwork with all the extras in the back. All right, let's go ahead and open this book up. You have your end sheets here, and I wonder, is that the same? Yeah, it is the same end sheets right here, featuring the character of Toledo. Billi 99, concept and script by Sarah Byam, art and lettering by Tim Sale, and your colors by José Villarrubia. And dedicated to the unsung heroes in our lives, when one stands up, 99 follow. I like that. It's beautiful. Editors, Patty Hedges and Curtis Finlay. I know that guy. Nice guy. Then, of course, your original editors and the people that helped put this project together. And your forward. Your forward here is by Susan Bailey, who was married to Tim Sale. And she talks about, how big of a role model Tim Sale's mom was. This is really cool because both her and Susan in the afterword will talk about the importance of Tim Sale's mom in his life and how he became a feminist and how the both of them met and how over here, she talks about how she didn't know that he was such a big name in comics. And then she asked him one day, what would you love to go back and redraw? And he said, this project right here, Billi 99. So here's your cover, Pray for Us Sinners, issue 1. And you do have this right here in every issue. World War III came and nobody noticed, talking about the destruction and of the American dream, but not in the way of like a bomb or a big war, but just about crooked politicians and then, of course, the corrupt corporate practices. So at the very beginning, we see a wanted poster here for this young lady, and this other young lady is tearing it down. And this is Billi Chatham. Billi Chatham, as you find out, is the daughter of this industrialist named Ray Chatham, who passed away, and she's been blamed for the murder of her father, and she's also the heiress to the multi-billion-dollar Chadman International empire. So Billi, finds herself in this world. Oh my gosh, just look at this beautiful artwork here by Tim Sale. Again, before Batman, Long Halloween, and Haunted Night, before Gambit and Wolverine victims, there was this. So we see what kind of world this is. And even though this was written in 1991, it takes place in 1999. So we're looking at this future, kind of like I mentioned at the beginning. It's like Watchmen or Dark Knight, where it seems like everything is hopeless, right? We have this lady right here that's being picked up, and Billy's kind of putting a stop to things. Now, one of the things I haven't said is that you find out slowly through here that Billy's dad wasn't just an industrialist. Ray was actually this character that was carrying around the sword of Toledo, and it's actually what this gentleman is working on right here. This is Unk, and he's working on that sword. And he dressed up like a Zorro character, like righting the wrong that the corrupt politicians and corporations have done to the citizens in this possible, or I guess 20th century. It's interesting to go back to that time and see what she thought, or, well, yeah, I guess what Sarah thought the world was going to be like. But here you find out about her dad and how alone she feels in this apartment, that even though she's the heiress to this multi-billion-dollar company, she lives alone. She works at this restaurant, and she feels so alone. So then we see her go out at night, dressing like her father, having these flashbacks of her father dressing up like Toledo, this hero that is standing up for the everyday person out there. And by the way, this does have some mature themes in here, strong language, and of course a little bit of violence, and then of course some sexual content in here. So just keep that in mind. But it's such a unique read for me because I haven't had the chance to ever read this. I've not even heard about it until Curtis mentioned it about a year ago. We were doing a video together that they were going to be working on and doing a Kickstarter, and there's a lot of unique characters, and the art, even though it's older, I don't know if it's got to do with the colors by José Villarrubia, but it does feel like a Tim Sale book, giving it that gritty look to it. So you're going to meet characters in here, like we saw Unk, we see Don Quixote, which is like this hippie type of dude that she's friends with. And then, of course, our main character right here, dressing up like Toledo and trying to fight. Like, for example, her neighbor, her name is Karen, and she's having to make ends meet, go into the line of prostitution. So it's a unfortunate look at the future, and to see where things are going to go when we let the corporations and the politicians make all the decisions, including our everyday decisions. And there are some people here, though, that give you a little bit of hope, even though they may seem like villains. You have this character of Annunzio, who's like a gangster type of character, but he grows really close to the character of Billi. And she's not the greatest at being a superhero. And then I will say the ending, it does kind of end a little bit abrupt, and I wonder if that was because there was an intent to come back and write more stories about these characters, or if perhaps this was, supposed to be an ongoing series, and it got canceled with issue number 4. I'm not really sure. But what I did like about it, the story is something that I've seen before, but what I did like about it was I did really enjoy the actual characters. The world that, of course, Tim Sale helps to create is a very moody and dark world. And I would have loved to have seen what it looked like in the black and white. We get a little bit in the back, and I'll show you here in a second. Not that José Villarrubia doesn't do a phenomenal job, like, doing the colors on top of Tim Sale's inks. They just are black and white art. It just looks absolutely stunning. And then there's that gray area. Speaking of gray, there's a lot of gray characters in here. Like, it's not about right and wrong sometimes. Sometimes it's about the people in the middle, too. And I will say there is an evolution here to Tim Sale's artwork, too. Like, by the time you get to issue 4, it looks a little bit different than the issues towards the beginning. As a matter of fact, the issues towards the beginning, I get a little bit of like old school Mike Mignola mixed in with like John Romita Jr. While over here, it starts to look more and more like him, like that contrast between black and white. It's crazy that I've never heard of this book. Now, let's look at the afterword right here. So the afterword was written in 2014. I don't know if there was a trade paperback that came out then, but this is by Sarah. Again, talking about the heroes, and one of them being Tim Sale's mom. I love that she helped make him a feminist and gave him a book. She talks about her hope chest. And then here's the bonus features, including the black and white piece from 1994 here, and the colors, courtesy of Gregory Wright. So this is the promotional pieces. An original cover art right here, and then the alternate cover. And this book has 232 pages, and again, retails for $45. And the trade paperback alternate cover, original page right here. So it did come out in 2002, it looks like, but I think that was also in black and white from Dark Horse Comics. And then the original miniseries cover art, and the colors are done by Tim Sell. And then you have some new pinups here by different artists. And then the bio on these folks like Sarah Byam, Tim Sell, and then José Villarrubia. Oh, in loving memory of Tim Sell, this is by Bill Sienkiewicz. For Susie, in loving memory of Tim Sell, artist, friend, husband. Beautiful. Lost him way too young. Now, let's look at the build of this. So again, 232 pages. It is sewn binding. There's that eye. Printed in this thick, glossy paper stock. There's really no bleed through happening. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the paper stock they use for their artist edition. So this is the way it lays over. There's very minimal gutter loss going on. And man, just such an atmosphere. Wow. That is absolutely stunning that he was doing this. Would love to have seen what the black and white looks like of this. Again, Villarrubia killing it with his colors like no one else could. But that is it. That, as they say, is that. If you're interested in purchasing this hardcover, don't forget to check out our sponsors.
If you're in Europe and you're interested in buying these books, definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices, flat shipping rate of €12 for all EU countries, emails answered within 24 hours, waltscomicshop.com, and you can use the code nearmintcondition at checkout and get free shipping for all EU countries with your first order over €40. That's Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. Ding!
CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more.
And that was the content, the build, and that was the content and the page count and build of this hardcover. Let me know in the comments down below if you plan on picking it up, if you remember reading the original black and white version, or if you got the Dark Horse trade paperback many years ago. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. Everyone, stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.